what that means, right? The BookTube games is starting. And I just wanted a balloon. Seriously, so I could just go like, "Hi Georgie, would you like a balloon?" You know, all of the creepy things for Team Dairy. I'm in love. So, today's the 1st of February, and I am uploading my BookTube Games and POLARTHON TBR, and probably by now you guys have already seen it, obviously, I hope so. So yeah, but there's something that I forgot to mention, or I didn't forgot to mention, but I thought that I didn't need to mention, because I thought I would be done with this book by now, but I'm not, so yeah. So, the first book that I read this year, or rather that I'm reading this year, is Killing Commendatore by Haruki Murakami, and I thought, like, okay, this is a 681 page book, and it's a fucking brick, but I was like, you have the entirety of January to read this shit, so you're going to do it, and you can post a TBR for February with no problem, because you've already finished this book, but no, oh shit, okay, oh, get inside. God, okay, so that was not the case, which means that I have to read this book before the 4th of February, which is when POLARTHON begins, and I have specific books for that one, so I have to finish this one. I'm not comfortable with letting this one go without finishing it, because now it's at the best part, and I'm only like 100 and something pages from the end. So, more pages for the BookTube games, and I know that this wasn't on my TBR, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count, obviously, the pages that I read starting now, February 1st. So I'm currently on page, let me check. So I am on chapter 53, Maybe a Fireplace Poker, and that is page 554. As you can see, this side does not have page numbers, but this one does. So 554. So what I'm going to do is I'm only counting from 554 until 681, which is the end, I believe. There, I'm trying very hard not to spoil myself, but yeah, as you can see, it's the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this brick, start the little thing that I have left of it today. So it's going to be my first read for the readathon. So starting this one today, I will read it. I will try to read it today and finish it, so I can maybe read a manga or something before the POLARTHON begins, so I can have more page count. But I don't know, because I normally do a part-time job at Fridays and Saturdays, from 5 p.m. until God knows when in the morning. So it's sort of a night shift at a restaurant, it doesn't matter. So I don't know if this weekend I am supposed to go to work, because I haven't heard anything from my bosses yet, so I don't know. So if I'm going to work, obviously I'm not going to be able to read a lot of this book. I'm spanking my book, it's fine, it's a hardcover, he can take it, I love it. So I obviously won't be able to read this if I have to go to work. So what I'm going to do is I have to do some work for a paper that I'm submitting with some colleagues, and after I finish the revision of that paper, I am going to read a little bit, then have lunch with my grandparents, then come home, sweep the dust of the entire house, and then try to read a little bit more. And if I don't go to work, then I'll finish this at night, maybe. I don't know. I'll try to film my progress, but you all know how this goes. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Happy beginning of the BookTube games, everyone. I hope that you guys already are picking up your books and reading. I don't know, I'm very excited to just read, you know. I don't even know, I have to do the math of how many pages 681 minus 554 is, because I can do it that mentally, because I'm shit. And when I do so, I will put it on a paper somewhere so I know how many pages I read, because I want to be an honorable person and I don't want to fuck up with other teams, because that will be wrong. So, yay. Okay, so I am alive. Today it's Monday the 4th, and I'm sorry that I haven't updated you guys for like 2 days. I am very, very sorry, but I have some updates for you guys. So on Friday I didn't go to work, and I finished Killing Commendatory by Haruki Murakami, as I said I was going to. And so I read 127 pages of this book, which counted for the BookTube games. The rest, obviously, I'm not going to count because I read in January, so obviously. And then on Sunday, I read the 6th volume of Wayward, Bound to Fate, which is the ending of the Wayward graphic novel series, which you totally should read, by the way, because this is extremely diverse. It is set in Japan and Ireland, and it has a lot of cool teenage characters that are supposed to be the new sort of gods of Japan, and they have to fight the yokai, which are Japanese demons. So it has a lot of culture. It has a lot of like funny, different, and cool characters, and I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of myths. It has a lot of talk of fate and what you have to do, and if you should change it or not, and if you should accept it. And it's really, really cool. It has some plot twists. It has some pretty cool shit, and I really enjoyed the ending. So this one stood at 152 pages, I believe, which was cool because it also counted for the BookTube games. And today, because it's the 4th, it's the first day of the POLARTHON, which means that I'm going to start with Children of Blood and Bone today by Tomi Adeyemi. And the reason why I haven't been updating you guys is because, as I said, I didn't work this weekend because it didn't need me. So on Saturday, I was with my mom and with my grandparents, and then I just went to dine with my boyfriend, which I could have filmed, but I didn't. We went to some sushi place, and then we got to his house, and I had started playing last weekend, I think. I had started playing Until Dawn, which, if you don't know, is a pretty awesome game that has this plot based on these kids that go up to this mountain. It's like a horror game. It's this group of kids, and they're teenagers. They go up to this frozen, snowy mountain, to this lodge that is owned by one of the kids, and they go there to do a memorial for something that happened 1 year ago. And they supposedly have to make, it's like a changed based plot. So you choose dialogues, and everything that you choose does the butterfly effect thing. So you can end up with different endings, and there's a possibility that all of them survive, but there's also the possibility that pretty much all of them are dead. And it is so fucking amazing. So I had started playing that on last week, I believe, on Sunday of last week. And on Saturday when we got home, I was like, so we still have some time. I would like to play that shit again. And I started playing from where I had left off, and oh my fucking god, I was so addicted to that shit that I played throughout Saturday. I went to bed because I was like, I told my boyfriend, like, I have to sleep because there's only 2 ways this is gonna go. One, I finish this shit throughout the night, and then I don't sleep and I die because I have to do my PhD and I have stuff to take care of on next week. Or I stop here at this point, and tomorrow we're going to finish this game, whatever it costs. And we did finish it, and oh my god, it was so great. But I have to replay a part of it because I'm so pissed off about something that I cannot say because it will be considered a spoiler for the game. But if you haven't played Until Dawn and you love horror games, like those horror slasher, sort of like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street kind of thing, you should definitely play that game. And it's not a very hard game to play. I normally am not very good with camera movements and all of those platform jumping and stuff, and I played it pretty much on my own, basically, with my boyfriend watching me play, and I didn't hit any game overs, and I didn't hit any, like, it was so good. It was such a cool story. The characters are enveloping. I absolutely loved it, and that's why I haven't been reading. Because I couldn't, because I was playing Until Dawn. I know, I'm a piece of shit. So I'm gonna go eat some cereals right now before I go to the gym, and I'm gonna try and start Children of Blood and Bone today, so I can get my feet up again, so I can go for Team Dairy, so we can push it up and win the shit, and I am gonna go eat and read, and yeah, and also for the POLARTHON, because I really want to nail that one since I only have 2 books to read for that one. So yeah, I will update you whenever, I guess. Okay, so today is the 5th. Oh, I have something on my camera. Okay. So today is the 5th of February, so we are doing the POLARTHON and the BooKTube games, and I started reading, okay, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is my Portuguese copy. I have read yesterday 100 pages of this book, and I have a comment that I have to make. I don't want to piss anyone off. I'm going to start by that. I have only read 100 pages, so this opinion can change, although I personally don't really feel like it will change unless something very drastic happens. Hear me out, and please don't come with a pitchfork. So do you know how everyone and their mothers hates Inan, or whatever the name of that guy is? I think it's pronounced Inan. I don't know. I actually really like him, and you're gonna go like, what? He's a terrible person. And I'm gonna go like, I know. But hear me out. Like, right now, I really enjoy him more than Zeely and Amari. And now is probably the time where you unfollow me, but before you unfollow me, just hear me out. Like, Zeely is pretty much your main character for YA fantasy. Like, she has a problem, she has to go get something, she is kind of the main reason why stuff is happening. She doesn't have that much of a good luck, but stuff will turn around, hopefully, and she will have powers and stuff. Amari is a cool character. She actually did something that you're not supposed to do. She went against her royal family. And maybe if you don't want to get spoiled for Children of Blood and Bone, like, don't. I'm not going to spoil pretty much anything, but I'm gonna go into motivations, so maybe if you think that that's a spoiler, don't watch this clip of the video. It's going to be easy. I will put this up, and when I put this down, you can watch it again. So as I was saying, Amari, she stole from her family, but she's not really into her family, if you know what I mean. Like, you can see it from the first 100 pages that she feels like an outsider. She feels like all of the racism and stuff that her family feel, she doesn't, and she actually appreciates her maid, her Magi maid. And when she dies, obviously she's disturbed, and she makes a rash decision that has a lot of consequences, but that's normal for a teenager with convictions to actually do. It's kind of normal. She didn't even think about it. She just did it, which obviously is normal. But Inan, you know, everyone fucking hates him because he is supposed to be like this bad dude that is searching for Zeely and Amari, and he wants to bring them back and kill Zeely and whatever. But he's such a complex character. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen such a complex character in YA. Like, you see that the only reason why he does the terrible things that he's done for now is because of his dad. Like, he's the king, he hits him, he is not affectionate, he only thinks about magic and how that will hurt the family. He wants to kill everyone, and he's trying to bring him up to be the next king and the commander of the guard. So obviously he has expectations. He calls him failure. He hits him. He does terrible things to him. And obviously if he doesn't comply with his orders, he will get abused, and he will get hit, and he will lose everything. He will be psychologically abused. So obviously he's going to do those bad things because it's your dad. You've never, like, you want him to love you. Your mother is not really helpful, and you just want to protect the people. You just want to live according to what your dad is trying to teach you. You're a child, and that's the point. And every time that I've seen him doing something bad, like when his dad tells him, like, you have to get Amari because she's a fugitive and she fucked this mess up, he's like, oh, please, God, don't let him tell me to kill Amari because I cannot kill my own sister. And the king is like, no, you just have to bring her back. And he's like, oh, thank God. Like, he doesn't want to kill his sister. And when he sets Zili's village on fire, which is the part where I'm in, he's like, okay, just deep breaths. You had to do this because your dad told you to do this. It's going to be over soon. Just close your eyes. Just breathe in. So obviously he's not a bad person. Like, okay, I'm going to put this down. Obviously Imnan is not a bad person. He's just so conflicted, and he's learned a lot of stuff throughout his life through abuse that is not correct. And how can you hate him? Like, I don't even know how the romantic development of him and Zili, because I'm imagining that that's going to happen since they had this thing when they look into each other's eyes where they were like, shock value, and I was like, really? But I am imagining that that's the shit that's going to happen. But how can you say that he's a bad character? Like, he is going to develop so much, I feel, and if he doesn't, then I'll be very pissed. But I am actually loving him. I think that he has very keen motivations for what he's doing, and he doesn't want to be the bad guy, although he is, because he has to be in a way. I mean, how can you judge him if you haven't grown up in sort of a abuse kind of thing, a situation? I mean, obviously people break free, and that's what I'm expecting to happen in the end of this book. Like, I don't know. I like Inan, okay? And please don't come after me. And if you hate Inam, I would love you to tell me down below why you hate him, because by the time that this vlog goes up, I will probably have finished Children of Blood and Bone, I hope. But I can't. And if I change my mind, I will update this vlog and I will tell you, like, I hate him, okay? And you are right. But right now, 100 pages in, and I cannot, for the life of me, hate this kid because he's a 17-year-old. I assume. He's a kid. He's grown up fighting and getting kicked from his dad, and he cannot, like, I can't, you cannot tell me that he's bad just because he's bad. Like, he doesn't want to be, and that's the most important thing, is that he still has a redemption to go through. And if we concede redemption arcs to characters like Draco Malfoy, for instance, who I actually really enjoy because I feel like he's in the same position. He's only evil because he's supposed to be, and it's a family legacies kind of thing. So if we concede those redemption arcs to him and to other morally great characters, why are people not conceding in on a redemption arc? I mean, I don't know what he's going to do throughout the book, and I hope he doesn't do something that we will regret, and I will regret being saying these things, but how can you not? I mean, he's just, I really like him, and I'm hoping for a lot of character development in An's perspective. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to continue reading. Hello. So, today's Thursday, and today is the 7th of February. And you're probably wondering why I have no fucking clip from yesterday. Let me tell you why. This book destroyed me, okay? You cannot begin to fathom what I really want to express with this. First of all, I decided it would be fun to film a clip of me reading the book yesterday, and so I was going to try, but I read, and I forgot to turn on my phone to actually film, and I read, and then when I was like, I don't know, maybe 50 pages from the end, I started crying, but like, you have no idea. It was crying like the ugliest motherfucking crying scene that I've ever made. There was snot coming out of my nose, and I know this is too much information, but I don't care. Snot everywhere, and I had to blow my nose, but I was like, no, bitch, you cannot stop reading because there's only 50 pages until the end of this fucking book and you're going to get destroyed. And so I proceeded, and you don't know how hard it was to actually try to stop my tears from falling in the pages, to just be going like this and changing the page at the same time, and at the same time just having to reread some sentences twice because, first of all, I couldn't fucking believe in those sentences. And second of all, I was crying, so I couldn't see the actual sentences. And oh my god, this destroyed me. This was yesterday, and today I went to the gym because I was like, okay, just take it off of your head. And I went to the gym and I did stuff, and then I came home and I start crying again because of this motherfucking book. Like, I swear to God, Tomi Adeyemi broke me, like, for real. I went into Children of Blood and Bone thinking it was going to be just a normal YA African sort of ish inspired thing that was going to be hurtful because obviously prejudice and stuff, but that it wasn't going to actually break me. And it did. This book is so good that I cannot wait for the second one. And normally you don't see me saying that often about a lot of books. I'm broken, for real. And I'm going to spoil something, so until I put this book down, if you want, just mute the video, and when I put it down, you can put it up again, because I don't know if there's going to be more clips or something. So, spoilers in 3, 2, 1, going. Okay, so, you guys probably are going to hit me in the face and unsubscribe, but Inan is still my favorite character, and you all going to be like, what the fuck? And, reading from his perspective when Zeely was being tortured, I started fucking crying. You have no idea. And then after that, it was just a cry after a cry. And his perspective, obviously Zeely's perspective is one that makes me actually feel all of the fear that she feels, and makes me feel all of the terrible things that have been done to her people and to her, and how she thought that she was broken because of what the king has done to her. It was so hard to read. It was so difficult. It was just God. But Inan's perspective is so bad because he hates himself with a fiery passion. Like, I've never... Like, okay, story time. So I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, and I had a period of my life where I hated myself, which gladly I'm not in that period anymore, but I did, and even I couldn't hate myself as much as he hates himself. And my God, to see that portrayed, and he wants to do good for everyone. I know that you people hate him, but you have to understand something. He did not throw the fires on that village where Zeely lived. It wasn't him. It was a guard. He didn't even want to throw fires to the houses. It wasn't him. He didn't kill the priest. It wasn't him. It was the other girl that he killed. He only killed someone because he couldn't control his powers, and it was actually someone from his own race, if you want to say it that way. So he hates himself because he's just trying to be the best that he can so that his dad will praise him. And I mean, have you ever had 17 years old? Have you ever not known what you want to do with your life? Have you ever felt like you were lost? Have you ever felt like sometimes maybe you deserve to die, or that you wanted to hurt someone really bad so that you didn't have to feel what you feel? Like, how can you hate Inan? I mean, I know that in the end of the fucking book, he was a prick, and he went to get Zeely's Baba, and you should never have done that. But obviously, he wasn't thinking, because he's 17 years old, and he thought, well, I get the dude. And Zeely trades the paper for him, and then he fucking goes away, and everything will be okay. And obviously, he's a kid because he thinks like that. He still thinks that he can make everything okay, and that's not the thing that happens, because Baba gets murdered, and then shit hits the fan. But he wasn't the one that killed him. He made a bad decision. We were all kids once. We all made bad decisions, and in war, there's retaliation. There's people don't know what to think. And people say like, oh, how can you fall in love with Zeely? It didn't. It wasn't sudden. It was an enemies to lovers trope. He didn't fall in love with her in the beginning. He didn't. He hated her. He wanted to kill her because he thought that she was everything that magic represented. She was harmful to him, she was infecting him. He thought of himself as a disease, and then he saw inside her head and he understood. He felt empathy, because in the end of the day, he was also abused by his dad psychologically and everything that he made him do. And he just wanted his dad's approval, like, and even in the end, when his dad is trying to kill him, he reaches with his hand and he's like, but Dad, I'm your son. And fucking hell, I cannot cry again. Okay, so if he's dead, I need the next book. I fucking need the next book. If Inan is dead, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I mean, I know that obviously Zeely will never forgive him, and I understand that because it was a mistake that he did that caused the person his life and caused her to lose everything again. But there's a difference between forgive and forget. She will never forget that, but maybe she can understand that he didn't to do it to betray her. Like, he destroyed the scroll to try and save the entirety of the population, not only the Magi, but the others. Like, what he thought was, if there isn't a scroll, there is no magic, so my dad doesn't have to kill anyone, and we can all live. And I don't know, he's just a kid. I mean, I know this is no excuse because it was a betrayal, and I understand how Zeely feels, and I don't know, I just love them both so much. And is he dead? Because if he's dead, oh my god. Okay, spoiler time is over, and I cannot deal. I am going to pick this book up, and I'm going to make a review for this. I'm going to try and do it non-spoiler, but there's stuff that I need to talk about and take out of my chest. And if you've read this book, please comment down below something. I'm destroyed. There is so much pain in this book, so much grief, so much, I don't know. And it was so realistic, and I'm so sad that so many people of color and people with different sexual orientations than the supposed strict norm that existed suffered through these things. Not like in here, because obviously there's no magic, but the suffering, the losing of people that you love, I am so angry. I am really, and I know that I'm talking like a white person. I mean, I know that I have no right to be angry with these things, but I am really, and it pains me that these things happen in the real world. And I don't know, I think we have to do something about that, because Jesus, I don't know. This was really an intense reading experience, and I absolutely love this book. If you haven't read Children of Blood and Bone yet, you have to. You absolutely have to. This is a great book. I have to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be so good, but it was great. It was, I cried like there was no tomorrow. I cried like my family was dead, okay? And it is not, thank God, but I cried like that. So you can see how painful it was to read this book. So I'm gonna stop now because I have stuff to do, and this vlog is getting way too big, and tomorrow is Friday, so it's going to be the last day that I vlog, if even I do, because I have to go to work, and I normally don't have time to do that, but this was so worth it, and I hope that you pick this up. And that's all for this clip. Bye. Okay, so I am recovered from yesterday, and yeah, hello. Today is Friday, the 8th of February, so it's going to be the last clip that I film for... Why am I yellow? Oh. Okay, as I was saying, it's going to be the last clip that I filmed for this first vlog of the BookTube games and the POLARTHON. The POLARTHON ends on Sunday, and I already started the second book that I'm reading for that one, which is the Book of Dust, La Belle Sauvage by Philip Pullman. It is book 1 in what's supposed to be a new prequel trilogy to the His Dark Materials trilogy. And oh my god, I started this yesterday, and in 1 hour I read 146 pages. Like, I'm already here. I was missing his writing style so much. He writes so beautifully. This is without a doubt a middle grade, as his previous novels were, because our main character is an 11-year-old kid. But at the same time, it's so nice. Like, it's written in a non-difficult way. Like, everyone can read it, but at the same time, it has some stuff that you have to think a little bit about it. Right now, there's been a major discussion about religion and about what it's morally right and wrong. And I am loving this. I love our main character. I am so glad that we got to see other characters that appear in His Dark Materials. So I have to say that my recommendation would be, if you want to do such a thing, you should read His Dark Materials first, because it is the original novel and because there's a lot of mentions to characters of His Dark Materials in here. And if you don't know, His Dark Materials is a trilogy composed by Northern Lights, or The Golden Compass, which is the first book. What is the name of the second book? Okay, The Subtle Knife, which is the second book, and The Amber Spyglass, which is the third one, and I absolutely love it. It's also middle grade, but it has so many questions about religion, science, relationships, everything. And I absolutely love the fact that the people in these novels have what is called geniuses. So it's kind of a part of their soul that assumes an animal form and walks around with them out of their body. And it's kind of a crime in this world to touch other person's genie. I'm not really sure if they translated to genie, but it's how it is translated in Portuguese, and I never read it in English, so whatever. It's a crime because it's like you're touching the person's soul, and it's not well viewed. And there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of mystery, and it's really amazing. I'm really loving it. Today, sadly or not, I have to work on my part-time, so I won't be reading a lot, but I think that I'm going to try and read a little bit more, because first of all, I really wanted to finish this by Sunday, but that's not going to happen because I work today and tomorrow, and I don't have a lot of free time between those periods. But I'm going to try to read this and finish it as fast as I can, because I'm loving it so much. It's not the same desperate love that I felt for Children of Blood and Bone, but I was like, please kill me now because I cannot take any more of this. But it is a beautiful, nostalgic, childish love that I have for everything that Philip Pullman writes. And he writes so easily, but so engrossing, that I can read this for an hour and read more than 100 pages, which it's pretty amazing. So I just wanted to come up here, say that I'm reading this, and close up this vlog, because after this I'm going to work and I have to edit so it can come out on Tuesday. I think that's what I want. So I am not going to be filming anything else for this vlog. But for the next vlog, I believe that I have a few surprises for you guys. Some unboxings maybe? I don't know. So if you want, please check the next vlogs when they come out. And check this one too. Obviously, if you're seeing this, you're already checking it. So, I mean, I don't know. But I hope the booktube games are going well for all of you guys that are participating. Also the POLARTHON, because it's a very interesting readathon. And I am really enjoying reading this. I actually found a book, a very ancient book called The Ice Queen, I believe. And that one is definitely polar fantasy, but I can't read it for a readathon because it has 2 volumes and it's a little bit bigger. And I don't know, I just want to give it the proper research reading mode so I can make a review about it, because it's a really old classic, like sci-fi-ish and fantasy. So yeah, I'm reading this one and I don't regret it, and I'm really happy. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog. It's probably going to be a little bit long. I'm going to try not to make it a long, but sorry about that. It is a wake vlog, so I mean, you can see it. And yeah, guys, that's going to be all for today, and happy readings to you all, and I hope the readathons are going well if you're participating or not. I know that there's a lot more readathons occurring in February than the ones I'm participating in, but you know, if you want, comment something down below, tell me how your readathons are going, and yeah, I'll see ya! Bye!